Hello and welcome to another class. We are still on TSM 348. We are discussing in week 3. This week we'll be talking about geography in tourism, the contributions, the skills of map reading. We'll be looking at landmarks, formations. There are two aspects we'll be looking at. The first aspect, as I said, the geography. So we also be looking at the hospitality administrations as it will relate to marketing and sales, as it will be relating to marketing and sales. And we'll also be considering uh, um, the staff recruitment, human resources. We'll also be considering it. So based on that, this week we'll be coming closer to nature and appreciate what God has given to us as it regards to hospitality and tourism. So, friends, I want you to join me as we ravel all that is surrounding this course this week. And I appreciate your strength, your effort in attending the classes. And I hope this week will be more interactive than the other. As I always say, the lecture note is already in your emails. Check your emails for the lecture note, and this resource will be using it to make sure we impart the knowledge. It will come with graphics, it will come with different things that will make us feel comfortable in the class. And I want to once more thank you as I remain myself, Dr. Obinna Ugochukwu Alex-Onyeocha. Thank you so much. Geography is the globally defined as the study of the earth and the people who live on it. The term geography comes from a Greek word meaning description of the earth. Description of the earth. So I want you to always remember this word, description of the earth, is very, very important. So the geographers uh, try to understand the relationship between one place and a group of places and another place or group of places. These relationships are called spatial interaction. Spatial interaction. Now, the geographers studies the earth because they want to describe it or explain it and make predictions or forecasts about its future. Geographers uh, realize that things on the earth constantly change, some of which come from the natural causes. Example, the effect of water and ice cause a field to change over a period of time. Meanwhile, some other changes occur because of human activities like highway construction and the building of towns and cities. The building of towns and cities. There are fundamental issues we need to understand about uh, geography. as we have observed in the introduction, is the study of the earth and the people who live on it. Several years ago, astronauts went to the moon and sent back some pictures of it to the earth. So we can now see that it is obvious that people are always trying to discover what happens. So this is among the reasons that geographers have always been in an unending search to the secrets of the earth and solar. You find out that all the time they will be looking at the things that will develop or occur around the earth. That is the work of the geographers. They will continue trying to discover things. So, Armstrong, a geographer, were curious of people and they wanted to know why things constantly change. So, the changes in season and why is there night and where is there day? So, those things began to give them reasons to search. These, these were the questions that brought about the discovery that Earth is among the 9 planets revolving around the Sun, which is known as the solar system. The 9 planets, including the Earth, revolve around the Sun part called the orbit, and the planet stays in its orbit because of two position force. That is the gravitational force. The gravitational force pulls the planet towards the sun, while the centrifugal force pulls the planets away from the sun. So these two forces is what makes the earth to move the way it is moving. So the two forces are are balanced with each other. The earth revolves around the sun once every 365 days. Each complete revolution marks 1 year. In addition, it also spins on its axis, and each complete rotation mark 24 hours, which is 1 day. The maps and tables. Geographers use many sources of information in their study of the earth, among which are books, pictures, and special equipment like binoculars. But the most important tool of a geographer is the map. So in your face you can see different map before you, and these maps are very useful because they show the picture from form important information that can often be complex to the layman. The map is also special that almost any feature on earth that can be measured or counted are represented. Now, people often see the global as the best model of the earth, but it does not allow a person to look at the earth at the same time. Why a map can be spread on a table and the whole earth can be seen at a glance. A globe carries a very little information. A globe carries a little information, while a map gives more information and can even be enlarged. That is, from the global map, one can get the map of a country like Nigeria. Also, one can still get the map that shows the road and important places within the city, according to Armstrong in 1984. In the course of the study, it is important to know that about the map properties and their parts. There are 5 parts which map have that helps the readings. 5 parts have that helps the reading. And we'll be looking at the title, the legend, directions, arrows, and map scales. Now, when we talked about the titles, we are looking at what tells the reader what information is found on the map. What information is found on the map. While the legend, it tells the reader about the color or symbols used on the map and what it represents. So you can see all this at this point. So we are looking at these ones here. So they are showing us what the map is talking about. Which can, this grid system is a serial of lines used to find exact location or place. We also have the directions. These are very important because they make them a reader to determine his or her position, which you look at this point, you see the directions. You either at the north, south, east, west. Then you can now see we have northwest, northeast, we have southeast, southwest. So you can see them openly at this point where it is written out. All of them are very obvious. You can see them. Now we have arrows. Arrows actually are the same pointers at the directions. And we have the map scales. The map scales, these are the relationship between a unit measure on the map and a unit measure on the earth, which you can see at this point. The miles and the kilometers, these are scales. So these are scales we are talking about in miles and in kilometers. They are the measures you can get. This is also a map scale that shows you where you are and how many meters or kilometers you need to walk to get. A lot of things were happening that reduce the death rate that and introduce of the introduction of the machineries greatly increased the productions of factory goods which were more hygienic and reduce the death rate. Along with the Industrial Revolution came advances in medical science. Increase in trade and contact between people spread ideas about growing crops and exchange of food for variety. This greatly improved the diet of millions of people. And by the 20th century, there was a population explosion. And this must actually have impact. So the impact of the population explosion aided by the Industrial Revolution, which also aided agricultural development, has greatly reshaped the earth. People have settled in various parts of the world, form in patterns as diverse as the land scope. The ability and success of people in adapting to different physical settings is reflected in the tremendous growth of the world population. Landmarks and climates influence the population of a region. A good landmark with good vegetable is likely to attract more population and tourists than the than an arid and dry region. Climate also influence the attitude of the tourist and thus have enhanced the development of the hospitality and tourism. You know, everybody wants to do tourism, and but before you do it, you always want to know how is their weather, how is their environment, on which season are they. When we will be planning our holidays, that's why people will tell you they want winter. Some people will say spring. Some people will say harmattan. All these are because of the climate change. People want to go when they will get what they want. So at this point, let's do the needful. Let's reason together. Let's discuss of what important is the geographer and geography to the development of hospitality and tourism industry. All right, let's. So we still have sales, advertisement, marketing, and administration of the hospitality organization. In promotion of in the promotion of marketing and sales of any product, the principles of the same, both the hospitality and tourism sector has some peculiarities. The hospitality and tourism product is a combination of product and service, and no single individual or entrepreneur can produce it because each department in the industry needs a high degree of specialty, according to BART in 2005. Hospitality and tourism product is a peculiar product that cannot be transported or taken to the customer. Hence, the customer has to get to it in order to make use of it. This product cannot be stored for sale at a later time. For example, you see a hotel room has to be used every day, or it becomes totally a waste. Unlike somebody selling stationery who can store it up, any stationery not bought for the sales day will be carried to the next day. But that is not in the hospitality industry, because as soon as that happens, it becomes totally a waste. Also, in case of natural calamities, economic stabilities, or political or religious uproar, the hospitality and tourism industry will suffer. It's like what is happening in Nigeria now. We are talking about insecurity, Boko Haram here, bandit there, IPOB there, Oduduwa People's Congress here. Everything makes the hospitality and tourism industry crumble. In order for tourism organization to sell its product, a good sales department usually employ fact finding data gathering called the marketing research. So when you say marketing research is a mode of gathering data for you to make a good focus. Communication to inform the public. That is the tourism promotion, ensure sales distribution channel, and coordination coordination, control, and evaluation. That is the monitoring and the total market plan. To motivate members of the sales team, some organizations reward the sales team with little percentage, and this makes sales professional to guide the client carefully, according to Walter in 1999. Making a sales and influencing the guest to become a repeat guest is vital in today's competitive market. So you must know how to keep your guest, and you must make sure your guest is functioning. About 80% of the hotel and some restaurant business come from about 20% of their guests that patronize them because of sales representatives. Another morale booster used by the administrators of the hospitality and tourism industry to gain the loyalty and the dedication of the duty of by employees, especially the sales team, is compensation. So many organizations talk about compensation. They compensate their sales team, making them to know that, oh, they have done well. This compensation is the total reward benefit given to a staff member that have met particular targets. So compensation can amount to 25% of the total payroll, make them the highest single cost factor in the hospitality industry. At the recruitment of human resource, recruitment of human resource. As we already know, the hospitality and tourism industry is the largest in the world, employing over 70 million people. Also, there are no other industry in the world that has a frontline guest contact with employees and guests, especially entry level employees. In this industry, employment ranges from the entry level employees to specialized position, supervisory position, and managerial and executive position. So, human resource is all about attracting, selecting, orienting, training, developing, and evaluating the performance of organizational resources, according to Morrison in 1999. The complexity of human resource management and development in the hospitality and tourism industry is increased because many unskilled workers are employed at the entry level. At the entry level, there is enormous and increasing cultural diversity within the industry. So, the figure we are going to see below will show talking about. Now, this is the human resource management and development process. So, at this point, we have this, that is the tax analysis. The tax analysis. Now, we have two, which is the job description. We have another three, the the productivity standards. Now we have four here, which is the advertising, and we have five, which gives us the recruitment. Now, when we are recruiting, we are also doing selection because we are talking to people. And when we finish, we do orientation. This is where we tell them what we want. And then on 8 points, we train or retrain them. Now, we also have at the 9th point where we begin to look at the performance appraisal. Then also at the 10th and the last point of the process, we look at the developments. You see that it has a channel which it must flow through until we reach the last. But each one must follow uh, of looking for the most qualified and suitable employees for the position. So we can see from the point of the advertisement application. So you have to identify the vacancy before you apply. So people will submit their curriculum vitae and the rest of them. Then we get all those things done. So those are the processes we need to follow. That's the process we need to follow in the recruitment and selection. In the recruitment and selection. So there will be applicants interview. There will be questions. You know, those things have to all take place for us to get all these things sorted out. All those things must take place. All right. Then we have sales tools, sales program, and sales promotion. So as you can see from your view, sales, as we have noted in our introduction, is focused on the product or service to sell. Therefore, a good hotel administration splits its sales team according to the various target market. Example, the association, the corporate, or the catering. Sometimes the classification might have to involve region in area, north, south, east, and west. So, depending the approach you want to adopt for the employees, then the salesmen are employed for such, and the company sometimes have to accommodate them. So, and they have to know what they are marketing, the accommodation, the restaurant. They have to know their needs. Then you have to know how to present things. So the team should also be able to get the name of the people responsible for the booking in the hotel and the restaurant, so that they could be invited to the hotel for a personal tour and the lunch during the tour, which is a great advantage. As Walker said, some sales tools and programs include personal selling. Under these two, we have sales calls, internal sales. We have training for guards and contact employee telephones. The second tool is the direct mail. Under this tool, we have a questionnaire brochure, postcards, envelope, staffers, and calendars. We have displayed advertising. This is a third tool, having the property like newspaper, roadside billboard, and signs at the airport and other strategic places. We also have publicity is another tool, which include radio, television, advertisement, and messages at special events. Also, internal advertising is a tool. Internal advertising is a tool including room directories, menu clips, personal cell messages, recording announcement on a public announcement system. All these are tools. Yet another tool is the program sponsorship on television or radio. Sponsoring a sports event, you are sponsoring an activity people are doing, that will also make you reach your target audience. We also have the administration and the organizational structure in the hospitality and tourism industry. The hospitality and tourism, as we have noted previously, is the largest. As I have said earlier, there is hardly another industry that has this type of contact between employee and guests, such as this industry. In the hospitality and tourism industry, employment ranges from the level position to specialized position, that is the supervisory position and the managerial and executive position. This is why the industry revolve around human resource management. This point has been stressed by Troy in 2003. Human resource is also all about attracting, selecting, orienting, training, developing, evaluating the performance of an organization by the most important resource, that is the human resource. Uh, no hotel or restaurant or tourism organization is the same with another one. The difference is their service and professionalism. That is why human resource management is so significantly critical to the success of the organization, as Marker 2005 stated it and repeated by Seth and Blett. This is the reason the industry has to be divided into sector and departments. There is primary service, which is the room service, the food service, food and beverage service. There's ancillary services like the guest laundry, the violet service, and the telephone. So we also have the support services, which include the marketing and sales, the property operation, the maintenance and energy, general administration, and accounting. All these mount to the administration and of the industry. So I hope we are listening. And what do we do next if we have listened? So what is the process of recruitment and selection as applied in the hospitality and tourism management? So let's talk about it. So having said that, I want to say thank you for listening.